Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to the 80s action hero update to Verdansk 84. One of the first things you'll notice right off the rip is that the communication building downtown has been replaced by the absolutely massive Nakatomi Plaza from the movie Die Hard. It is very authentically recreated from top to bottom. It's bigger, taller than the old communication tower, and more complex internally. It also has a ton of Easter eggs in it. The one you're looking at right now is Disarm the C4 before it blows up the building Easter egg, which I'll show you how to do today. It's not too hard. And there's another one that comes later where you can actually rob the Nakatomi Plaza vault and steal all of the money and gold bars and information. The map itself is extremely authentic to the movie. I was very impressed. They have the model from the movie, they have the ventilation shafts, they have the nice, like, fancy rich people, Japanese kind of themed upper offices, and they still have the, like, weirdly Cybertron kind of control panel from the movie, all the ventilation shafts, the elevators, and of course the basement, which is kind of where the real party gets started today, because once you go in the basement, you're getting next to the bad guys' sort of secret hangout or real objective and real mission. Now down here in the basement, it's a couple of stories, and there's tons and tons of loot, tons of vehicles and things from the game, and a lot of side paths to explore. But what you want to do is find the glowing van, come in here and press F to start a deal gone wrong, and this is how you will start the rob the vault Easter egg, which eventually will take you up to the top of the tower so you can get all the money and stuff. I'm going to go through a whole tutorial of that later today, but first, I wanted to talk about some of the other updates that came to Warzone. They redid the main menu to have all of these crazy explosions and new music, so you feel like you're in an 80s movie from the moment you load in. There's a new mini battle pass where you can buy things, and a store if you want to use code Drifter, which is all caps and the O is a 0, thus making this video sponsored by Activision. You can do that. If you complete the entire mini battle pass, you get this free flame bearer blueprint, which I don't quite understand. You can do the battle pass in either Cold War or Warzone. Of course, there is the classic Jonh McClane skin, which is very authentic to the movie and looked better than the leaks. A lot of his guns are covered in duct tape and have radios taped to them, again, very much so like the movie. John Rambo is in this game, and he's not looking too bad either. Most of his gear and weapons and equipment are all like authentic from the film Rambo First Blood Part 2. This is his M60 that he fires one-handedly. This is his like Charlie in the Jungle survival AK that we have going on. And then finally, you have John Rambo's knife, which is, I think it's supposed to be really cool, but it's really generic looking. What's really amazing about this skin is the finishing moves with the bow and arrow. That's kind of insane. They also added the ballistic knife from Cold War into Warzone itself so that you can use it. And a lot of you thought that this might be an OP or an amazing weapon. And I just wanted to show like a good kill right there to show that yes, it can kill people. But as you'll see as this gameplay continues, it's kind of rough, to be honest. It does not consistently one-shot kill people, and I think it has the same damage profile as the traditional or basic crossbows in the game. So basically, in order to get a one-shot kill, you're going to need to hit an enemy in the head, or they're going to need to have low health. If you hit them in the upper chest and body, it's 200 damage, if I'm not mistaken, and so if they have full armor, they won't die. And if you hit them in the limbs, that's only going to be 150 damage, so not even full armor cracks there. In a lot of instances, what you're really doing with the ballistic knife is shooting somebody to weaken them, and then you're running in behind them to get the quick one melee kill guaranteed. And unfortunately, this one does not melee as fast as the Kali sticks. It's pretty fast. It's faster than a lot of the heavier weapons like the sledgehammer and stuff, but it's not insanely fast, and as a pure melee weapon, probably not the best, and it even retains, unfortunately, the slow sprint out speed and the really low projectile velocity that it had from Black Ops Cold War. Yeah, so that's all the new content. Again, if you're going to buy things and pick up skins, please use my code. I'd appreciate it. If not, let's get back to the tutorial. So the most basic one is that shortly after the match begins, the C4 on top of the building will arm, and in order to complete this Easter egg, which is hostile fire, it's a little in-game mission and it gives you a reward. You just need to take over the top of the building and start disarming the C4. You have to look at it a little bit funny. The option to disarm isn't always immediately available, which is a little bit odd. The trigger area is kind of small, but you will see disarm C4, and unfortunately the disarming is very, very slow, so you truly need to have control of the building before you get up here and start fiddling with these C4s, or you're gonna get shot in the back. I did this in solo, so thankfully there were other people not shooting me and disarming C4s, and once you disarm 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken, you get the reward, you get a score streak, you get a charm, and you can complete the Easter egg. This one is very, very basic, though the building might blow up if you don't disarm all of them, which is a different Easter egg for later. The rest of the building, I just wanted to take a moment to say is very authentic from the office sort of that's under construction or in progress, is fully fleshed out and nearly identical to the movie. So is the whole elevator shaft and go hide in the air ducts and creep around kind of thing. I almost fell right there, and then I got caught on the elevator, again, just like the movie, and then I can come and creep around and explore in the rich people fancy offices, which is, again, pretty much identical to the film, right down to the models and the colors and textures and everything that's being used. Not only is the top of the building a fully fleshed out combat space, but the bottom is authentically recreated as well. There's the control panel that they took over in the beginning, but the real party starts in the basement, okay? So there's the, we'll use this in a moment to go up to floor 30. To start the cool Easter egg, you want to come down to the basement, and in the basement you'll find a lot of stuff, a lot of cars, and a lot of distractions. But what you want to do is go down to the sub-basement or parking floor number 2. It's kind of located in the middle of this basement. You'll have to find it, and then you'll just kind of jump over the ledge real quick like. Parking floor number 2 is even more complex than parking floor number 1. Even more distractions, lots of computer rooms, and just really like goofy, like science-y equipment and things that look like Easter egg panels, ammo pallets too, that distract you. But what you're really looking for here is in the middle of this area, there is a, I think it's a, I can't see colors very well, I think it is a blue cargo van with this glowing gold light. You'll crawl into the back of the cargo van and press F to start a deal gone wrong where you can rob the Nakatomi Plaza vault. Before I explain this Easter egg, I wanted to give a brief shout out to my sponsor, Astro Gaming. Thank you guys for supporting me for years. This month, they are promoting their AO3 in-ear monitors, which I did a review of on this channel. I love them. I use them frequently. They're very high quality earbuds, and it's one of my favorite things to listen to music in them because I can hear sounds even in cheap little MP3s that I couldn't hear before on headsets. If you want to check these out, you can click the link down there in the description. I think they're relatively inexpensive at $50, and if you use code Drifter, you'll save 5% off of that, and I think the link should also apply 5%. So please support me, please check it out. If you're looking for new earbuds, I'd recommend the Astros. And now let's get back to the Easter egg. What this does is spawns an Easter egg very similar to a lot of the zombies Easter eggs, where a whole lot of enemies are going to come at you. This time, instead of zombies, it's terrorists that are modeled exactly like Die Hard. Since they can shoot at you, the developers thought that it was very fair to add little green lasers so that you can see where they're coming from. This was my first attempt at the Easter egg. I kind of had no idea what to expect, and I probably should have chosen a full auto weapon. For this Easter egg, I would recommend a full auto weapon, something with a giant magazine. You can ballistic knife these people and melee them. They're not that threatening, but they can gang up on you. One of the best ways to do it is actually to get cover and to watch spawns. You can kind of shoot them as they spawn sometimes. After you've killed wave number 1, it says kill the brute, which is going to be a juggernaut that comes in, and you're going to have to deal with other players too. This guy just came in and just ruined my whole day by hosing me. So I had to come back to fight the Juggernaut. This was Danny the Pyro for the very first one, and I didn't know how much health he had. Apparently, it's a metric ton of health. These guys are, even though they're skinny and small looking, they are true Juggernauts, and they need to be taken seriously. And they're going to have more health here in quads where I did this, of course. So another way to do it is just let somebody else kill the Juggernaut and then kill them, and you'll take their little key card. But what you're going to have to do in most cases is get your whole squad down here. You're going to have to kill all the little random guys that aren't very threatening. It really reminds me of Chaos Mode from MW3. There are some nice ammo resupply points you can use. Sometimes they drop really friendly things like armor boxes so that you can get armored up. But it will become very chaotic in the second round. It won't be quite that easy. Maybe my perception of it's a little bit skewed since I'm doing solo here. So you'll just keep on slaying, keep on fighting, and find ways to engage the brute. Now what I like to do is I like to clear out the little guys and dump about a mag into him, go back behind cover, and then get ready to do it again. The brutes thankfully don't deal a ton of damage. Unlike traditional juggernauts, they don't have miniguns or super abilities or explosives in most part. They're just regular AI. I did have some issues, however, with them wandering around outside of the building. I've had them spawn outside of the little parking complex and wander around outside the building and become much more difficult to kill. Don't be fooled when you crack their armor. That does not mean they are down and ready to die. They still take a ton of more shots after the armor. And you'll think, okay, you've killed this guy. Now you're just going to go pick up the key card, right? You actually have to finish the entire rest of the wave before you can get the key card. So I didn't even know this. I was like kind of curious as to where it is. You're going to have to kill all of the other little guys that are just kind of out here wandering around. But once you do kill them, the final is tons of cash too. These guys are thieves, right? So they're going to drop a bunch of cash. But once you kill the final guy, he's going to drop the key card, which I'm going to do here in just a second. They're so low threat. One of them is individually so useless that I didn't even think about it. Let's weaken him. Let's go in for the fancy kill, melee him. And there is the vault key card on the ground. Now that one says 3. Well, there's 1, 2, 3 of them. We'll come back to why in a minute. You'll take that vault key card, exit the basement via the elevator shaft. So this is the fastest way to do it. You want to get in the elevator shaft, and there is a little ladder. You crawl up the ladder just a little bit to the, I think this is the first story. And then from the first story, there's a zip line that takes you up to floor 30 where the Nakatomi Plaza vault is. And this is really cool to me because in the movie, authentically, it is on the 30th story of the building. So this is kind of a scale model of Die Hard, which I think is just absolutely awesome. I had to plate up when I got up here. There's a whole bunch of people running around. I didn't show a whole lot of the sneaking in this one, but I did a lot of sneaking to avoid enemy players. The vault I thought was going to be these gold doors because I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but it really looks like a big cylindrical cryogenic chamber. It's over here on the north side of the 30th floor. You put your key card into the computer, you effectively hack it just like the thieves, and the big cylindrical cryogenic looking space future vault slowly rotates open to reveal a ton of cash. It is a metric ton of cash. I actually end up basically winning plunder mode just by opening this vault, and any team that opens this vault has effectively already won plunder mode. If you do this in Battle Royale, you're going to get a lot of stuff like stopping power and rare weapons like grenade launchers, and you'll also get specialist bonus and stuff like that. Now you remember those key cards, there are 3 safety deposit boxes, and each safety deposit box will have a contraband contract that you can activate. These contraband contracts aren't unique to the challenge, but in case you just didn't have them or wanted the free blueprints and wanted to do them, you can do that. The little vaults do also occasionally drop specialist bonus or something like that. So you'll activate the contract. On your way out, you can check out the new Die Hard posters that they put all over the map. I just happened to notice that one. And the contraband contract is really like any other. You just deposit your cash, you take it, you collect it, the blueprint is yours. And while the stuff that you get isn't unique for doing this Easter egg, it is really nice that you can cycle through and basically get all the blueprints really quickly. Now, if you don't defuse the C4, which we didn't do in this particular case, you get this green smoke coming off of the building and an indicator that something is about to happen. Unfortunately, I've been unable to ascertain if the building will blow up or not because the teams that were up there, for whatever reason, just decided to disarm the C4 and stay safe, or they're working on the Easter eggs as well. There's a lot of zip lines on the outside of the building, 3 or 4 of them now, tons of ways in, a lot of scaffolding and glass and things to climb, a lot of shortcuts. The building is far more porous than it used to be. This building used to only have the stairwell and the zip line to get up, and then we added the zip line on the outside, and it was relatively easy to camp and hold down. Well, I personally would vote to keep Nakatomi Plaza in here permanently because the interior structure of this is far more complex. Not only does it feel like the movie, which is really cool, but it feels like a Call of Duty map. I feel like I'm playing a little section of a map here, and when I did this in solo versus quads and plunder. I was hunting people, I was sneaking around, I was fighting, and I really felt like I truly was Jonh McClane in Die Hard doing this because I was so kind of like alone and out of my element and stuff. It was just so crazy. This guy just fell down. I just had to go for the BM here. It was way too fun, way too much of an opportunity to pass up. Also an opportunity to show off Catgirl Mara. But inside the building, submachine guns, shotguns, stuff like that dominate. Assault rifles probably aren't going to be your friend. And I just generally had a super fun time. Even a helicopter spawn on top of the tower sometimes. And a little bit better to snipe off of too. You get a better, higher elevation, but with the downside of it having less cover, so I think that's entirely fair. I was overall super happy with the addition of Nakatomi Plaza, not only the design of it from a gameplay perspective, but the design of it from emulating the movie, or the authenticity of it to how it feels, and pretty much everything about it. I will go so far as to say I had so much fun doing this that I actually had fun playing Plunder. And for those of you that watch my streams and know me, you know that I have many colorful opinions about Plunder and Shipment 24/7 and modes that don't typically take a lot of brain power, but doing solo versus squads and Plunder at Nakatomi Tower was actually really fun and engaging, and it made me actually want to care about the mode for maybe the first time ever. and I fought super duper hard to control this little money drop-off station on the outside, get the money, survive, live, deposit, whatever. And as you'll see in a couple of moments here after my final fight, I actually ended up winning plunder solo for the first time while doing the Easter egg. It was a very hype moment for me. It felt very fun. I kind of wish that I'd been streaming it, though it wasn't without effort. All these little goblins kept trying to come and kill me and re-landing and trying to kill me over and over again, but I think that's sort of what plunder is supposed to be. So overall, I'm super happy with the new update and how it's shaping up in terms of new content. I think it's a very positive change to the map. There will be future videos on this channel about the John Rambo Easter eggs and locations, which are a little bit less complex and fun than this one, but they are in the game. And I'll also have an update about the balance changes for the PPSH, the new weapon, the ballistic knife, and quite a few sort of COD stats things. Guys, that is all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, please like, favorite, subscribe, leave a comment, anything that helps me in the algorithm, or check out my sponsor, Astro Gaming. Drifter out.